Meeting for Monday, April 20th, 2026. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Johnson?
Here.
Trustee Lapigianis?
Here.
Trustee Enderle?
Here.
Trustee Wilbrandt?
Here.
Trustee Price? Trustee Eska?
Here.
Trustee Yaska, could you please lead us in the pledge?
Everybody, please stand and join me in the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Moving on to the approval of the agenda. Any additions, corrections, or deletions to the agenda as drafted? Seeing no changes suggested, I'd entertain a motion to approve said agenda.
So moved.
Motion
Second.
and a second by Trustee Alpagianis. Any additional discussion or comment? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Moving on to President's Report, I have only one thing. I just want to thank Chief Green and Manager Cavallero. We had a productive meeting with the school district. They were complimentary and appreciative of the police department's effort and actually the organization's efforts when we had the 2 lockdowns a week before last. So the police department did an excellent job. Just want to commend you and thank you, Chief, for establishing that relationship with them. That's the extent of my reports. Moving on to reports and questions from trustees and working groups, starting with Trustee Anderle.
I actually have 2. I had my lead service line done. Thank you very much, Eric, for all your work. And my next door neighbor fell with the lawnmower trying to mow around the speed limit sign. She asked that it be removed or moved and was told no. They came and looked at it, told her no, but no explanation as to why anything can happen. So my question is there a way, since we're doing the bump outs, that the speed limit signs can be put in the bump out so people are gonna have to slow down anyway to go around them? They'll see 25, they'll know, can't say I didn't see it. Is that possible?
We can take a look at it. There's some statutory requirement regarding the spacing, but between police and public works, we can definitely look at it.
Could you get Joe the address of the
Sure,
person,
thank you.
please?
426 South First.
Sure.
And could you let Trustee Anderle know?
Yep.
This position. Anything else, Trustee
That's
Anderle?
it.
Thank you. Trustee Alpagianis.
Nothing.
Trustee Johnson.
2 things quick. I got a comment from one of the residents about the bike path and Sleepy Hollow Road, actually a compliment about how nice of a job that was done there and how he's enjoying it. So I said I'd pass that on. The second item is I continue to get a lot of questions about when the streets are going to be paved, when they're going to repair the lawns, how that whole process is going to work, whether they're going to dig out the rocks, are they going to put in dirt, etc. So can we post some communications in a potential schedule as to when that might occur? Because I don't know what the answer is to that.
Erica, how does that sound?
Yeah.
I don't think they've been willing to commit to a schedule. They've just said for asphalt, they gotta wait for the plans to open. We pulled the specs, we talked to them about the turf restoration coming into the growing season, so they're gonna has to be back to original conditions. All that rock's gonna come out. They need 4 inches of fresh topsoil, and they're doing hydro seed fertilizer. Any kind of bushes.
Okay.
Expect that'll be happening soon as the weather is favorable.
Yeah, can we just post that somewhere so everybody kind of has the same understanding? So I can point them to, that's how it's gonna work.
Even if we don't have the specific dates, would it be possible to get it out this week?
Yep.
Yeah,
Thank you.
okay,
Is that
That's
sufficient, Trustee Johnson?
that's it.
Trustee Eska?
I have nothing.
Trustee Wilbrandt? Okay. All right, Joe, anything from the team?
No, nothing other than.
Water okay, the water levels?
The forecast, right now we're at 11.6, I believe, forecasted to go up to 11.9. So If it stays within that 0.3 of a parameter, we're probably okay. Lincoln Avenue has water, First Street has water, Edwards has water, but at this point in time, there are no private properties that are affected. Obviously, public improvements such as the Overlook and the Riverwalk are barricaded because they are underwater, but
I was gonna ask about Lincoln, the apartments there. The water is coming up to the curb. Do we feel it needs to be sandbagged?
that's, we've typically will provide resources, but it's usually up to the individual property owners. And is, right now, the forecast is that it's only gonna come up a couple more inches, less than 3, over by cresting on Thursday.
Okay.
So,
For those apartments on Lincoln, for the 17, made some improvements where they have these slide-in
gates.
barriers,
Oh, okay.
so they're actually implemented those in the 17.
Yeah, there's a concrete wall that goes in front of it, there's gates, they have steel gates that go in front of it, and then it's only minimal sandbags that have to be put in front of those,
Awesome. All right, well, thank you.
if they can find the gates, which was the problem last time.
Okay. All right, well, hopefully they can find the gates.
Yeah.
All right. Moving on to questions from the audience. This is an opportunity for those in attendance to address the board on items that are on the agenda and items that are not on the agenda. So let's start with the former items that are on the agenda. Moving on to items that are not on the agenda. Okay, we'll move on. Consent agenda items A through D. Is there a desire by any board member to remove any of the items? I will read them in a moment. Okay. Item A is ratification of payments, excuse me, for $139,168.14. Item B is approval of bill list for $203,285.43. Item C is daily liquor permit requests, finally Friday event series. And item D is the VFW Rudy K. Wild Horses Kentucky Derby Mustang Car Show on May 2nd, 2026. Do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda as read?
So moved.
Motion.
Second.
Second by trustee Johnson. Any additional discussion or comment? Hearing none, Madam Clerk.
Trustee Uska?
Aye.
Trustee Johnson?
Aye.
Trustee Lapagianis?
Aye.
Trustee Andalay?
Aye.
Trustee Wilbur?
Aye.
All ayes, motion carries. Moving on to resolutions and ordinances. Item A, ordinance adopting the fiscal year 26-27 budget. Trustee Huska.
Anyone else have any further questions on the budget? We've discussed it several evenings and just throwing it out there if anyone has more questions.
I do. Is there any way we could up the amount we give to Explore Elgin? Since they're promoting us with burger trails and coffee trails and taco trails, and we've taken some hits recently, I think we could probably use their help more than ever. And they haven't had an increase since Chrissy Lee took over.
What are you looking to adjust it to?
Maybe $12.50.
And we're at what, 10 now?
No, you dropped her from 10 down to 7,500.
Oh,
So we're going up $500.
500 or 5,000?
5,000.
We're at 5,000, sorry.
I can put this together as an agenda item for next board meeting, and the board can discuss it, and we can make it a.
Yeah, I think there's room to absorb it
Sure.
in the budget. It would just
Can
be.
I ask her to come and
Sure,
present?
sure.
Okay, perfect, thank you.
Okay. Before I make the motion, I'd just like to thank Director Chambers. You jumped right into this. You started as we were starting with the budget talks, and Manager Cavallero and all the department heads for putting together a balanced budget document that we can work with this year, a working tool. I know this one was a tough one, and people didn't get everything on their wish list, but we'll be solid with the budget.
Yes, well done. And I want to thank trustees Yuska and Johnson for meeting with all the department directors as part of the budget preparation process.
So with that, I move to adopt an ordinance approving the Village of West Dundee's annual budget for fiscal year 2026-27 as presented and/or amended.
Motion.
Second.
And a second by trustee Johnson. Any additional discussion or comment? Hearing none, Madam Clerk.
Trustee Uska?
Aye.
Trustee Johnson?
Aye.
Trustee Lapagianis?
Aye.
Trustee Andalay?
Aye.
Trustee Wilbur?
Aye.
All ayes, motion carries. Moving on to resolutions and ordinances, item B, 108, 110 West Main Street, ordinance approving a redevelopment agreement by and between the Village of West Dundee and RDP Builders. Trustee Enderly.
Okay, we're back at it again. I'm so happy. Okay, so we're gonna have full rehabilitation of the existing building. The ground floor is gonna be a flexible space for retail, demonstrations, classes, and events. We're gonna strengthen the ceiling or whatever structure so we can potentially have a second floor. Are you putting the parapet on? You don't know? Okay. We're gonna improve the electrical, plumbing, and life-saving systems. You guys are kicking in at 1.26 million. We're giving you the building for 200,000 that we paid for 84, waiving permit fees, and reimbursing totaling 400,000 at different milestones. You're gonna create potentially 33 jobs. We're looking at revenues of 351 million over the course of the TIF and 282,000 in food and bev taxes
That's a lot. 351.
over the course of the.
You said
Yeah.
million.
15 years.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean,
Okay, comments or
Oh.
questions from the board?
I'm excited that we can bring you the opportunity. Can't wait to see what this will bring to downtown, and wish you guys success, all the success in the world.
Trustee Enderly, you have the floor.
Okay, I move to approve an ordinance approving a redevelopment agreement by and between the Village of West Dundee and RDP Builders, Inc.
Motion.
Second.
Second by trustee Alpajanis. Any additional discussion or comment? Seeing none, Madam Clerk.
Trustee Enderly.
Aye.
Trustee Wilbur.
Aye.
Trustee Eska.
Aye.
Trustee Johnson.
Aye.
Trustee Lapajanis.
Aye.
All ayes, motion carries. Moving on to unfinished business, item A, First Street Joint Funding Agreement, Local Agency Engineering
Welcome home.
Services Agreement and Selection, Award of Baxter and Woodman for Phase 3 Construction Supervision. Trustee Yeska.
We did apply for and receive grant funding for the resurfacing of First Street. We do have a local share obligation of $228,843. And we have, that is in the budget we just approved, so anything further you want to add to that?
No, that's it, this just pledges to MICA, accepting our local share obligation. Board approval, and then, because of the amount of phase 3 construction supervision, we did have a process on that, and not ask to see.
Comments or questions?
I need to do each of those three?
Nope. Motion to authorize.
Okay. I move to authorize the following three items pertaining to the First Street resurfacing project. Or the items as listed.
Okay, so stipulated. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by trustee Enderly.
Not first.
Okay. Do we have any additional discussion or comment? Hearing none.
Trustee Eska.
Aye.
Trustee Johnson.
Aye.
Trustee Lapajanis.
Aye.
Trustee Enderly.
Aye.
Trustee Wilbur.
Aye.
All ayes, motion carries. All right, thank you, Eric. Moving on to new business item A, authorization to solicit proposals for enterprise resource planning system. Trustee Yaska.
I just want to emphasize, this is a request for proposals, and this is all-encompassing, hoping to make our lives easier, or, well, mostly your lives easier, not, it doesn't do a lot for us, but just my one question, we would still have paychecks, right? We would not, they will not,
So part of this proposal is to look at replacing paychecks
Oh.
with the ERP system, there'll be the payroll modules included in that, and then we will go back to processing in-house.
okay, okay. So,
Comments, questions?
Can you just give us 2 seconds, like functionality of the ERP, what you're looking to enhance, what?
Yeah, I'll do my best
The ERP system will convert a lot of what we do on spreadsheets into the system.
Yes,
and
it's gonna replace a lot of manual processes.
Good.
Okay.
I move to authorize staff to issue a request for proposals for a new enterprise resource planning system.
Second.
Motion and a second by trustee Johnson. Any additional discussion or comment? Hearing none. Madam Clerk?
Trustee Uska.
Aye.
Trustee Johnson.
Aye.
Trustee Lapagianis.
Aye.
Trustee Andrew.
Aye.
Trustee Wilbrand.
Aye.
All ayes, motion carries. Thank you, Linda. Item B, acceptance of body worn camera grant. Trustee Wilbrand.
Okay. Chief and deputy chiefs are here. This is on the agenda today to accept a grant that we have applied for and received for body cameras and data storage and licensing. We do not have to match anything in this grant, and the value of the grant is $125,325.68. Is there anything additional other than awesome?
Yeah.
Awesome, thank you
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
Deputy Chief Haynes. This was 100% his project and quite a reverse going away present.
Yeah.
You definitely get some finder's fees. But it's strictly a reimburse.
Well, that's great. And Deputy Chief, this is your last board meeting, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah,
The
we're,
next
we're,
one will be
yeah,
pretty
you'll,
off.
yes. Well, you've done such wonderful things. I remember the first family I met when I moved to town. It was the night we moved in. We went to the tennis courts at Graffelman, and I met your mom and the dogs, and eventually I got to know you. But you guys are such a important piece of the town, and you've done such amazing things as an officer here. So, and to send off like this, how often does that happen? So well done.
Yeah, I just want to echo those comments. Deputy Chief Dan Haynes is the best kind of employee that we've had with this organization. He's homegrown. He grew up here. He's dedicated his entire professional career. He's raised his family here. He has become such an integral part of this community. And he has had such a calm, cool, collected demeanor throughout his 31 years of service to the organization that I just want to make sure that the community recognizes that commitment and dedication and that type of public service to our organization. So the entire Haynes family has been part of the West Dundee fabric. So that legacy continues and has been anchored by Dan, and we really appreciate it, and best of luck to you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Okay, with that, trustee.
The best part, he's about to hand you $125,000.
Yeah, this is.
I think for that, we should call it the Dan Haynes grant at this point. So I'll make a motion to authorize the acceptance of the fiscal year 2026 law enforcement camera grant in the amount of $125,325.68 for reimbursement of expenses related to in-car video systems, body-worn cameras, and associated technology costs, including training, data storage, licensing for the period of April 1st, 2026 through June 30th, 2030.
Motion.
Second.
Second by trustee Alapagianis. Any additional discussion or comment? Hearing none. Madam Clerk?
Trustee Wilbrand.
Aye.
Trustee Uska.
Aye.
Trustee Johnson.
Aye.
Trustee Lapagianis.
Aye.
Trustee Andrew.
Aye.
All ayes, motion carries. Moving on to item C, automated speed warning pilot program. Trustee Wilbrand.
Okay, this is different. We go from body cameras that were the new technology of its day several years ago to this is new and different. What's before you today is a pilot program run by Red Speed, who operates our two cameras on Bonkoski in 72 and 31. This, for all intents and purposes, is a warning system that monitors speed on West Dundee streets and will send via U.S. mail not a ticket, but what are they called? Warnings or a speed notice that they were exceeding speeds on West Dundee streets, And I believe in the memo, it's triggered at 10 miles an hour over the posted speed limit. For some of the West Dundee streets, that's quite significant because we don't have high speed limits outside of our main thoroughfares. I believe the hopes of this is to educate, make aware, increase traffic awareness, as well as change habits and things of that nature for those that use our streets for cutoffs and cut-throughs, especially along the river, along First Street and Washington Streets and things of that nature. So we have talked extensively over the last 13 years I've been here about speed on our West Dundee streets. This is another step, and using technology to bring awareness to it. We can track and monitor it. It does come at a cost, but it is not something that is going to be paid for by the residents directly that speed, because there's no ticket associated like the red light cameras themselves. So with that, if there's anything additional, Chief?
No, just that the only other thing that I could think of is that we would use that as the data point for the cops on the dots kind of thing, the intelligence level policing that we've talked about before, where, you know, it would be more than just the warning. We would monitor that, and, you know, the same vehicle gets 2 or 3 warnings, and they're in the same general time frame that they're crossing through that area. We would use that to direct resources to
Yeah.
tickets.
You and I had spoken about this after you took the job, and I love the idea. Has the price come down pretty dramatically? Because I think that was one of the obstacles initially.
The main thing with this, which is why we decided to go forward with it, is that none of the other, well, I only know of one other viable competitor that they were not offering this, is this, where it's based on a per warning basis. So not only do we have the trial period, where it's a reduced price, but set whatever cap, that's why I suggested a specific cap in the memo, but there's nothing saying that we couldn't adjust that, like, $10,000 annually, maybe we want to pare that back to 5,000. Red Speed could always say, that's not worth it to us, we're gonna contract or whatever, but, yeah, but it's much more cost effective, but it's much more of a reasonable option for us than other ones that we've seen.
Sure, okay, thank you.
I have a question. So during the trial period, it's strictly going to be on Lincoln, and should we then decide to extend, is the intention to keep that on Lincoln or go to another area?
Well, there are limitations with that, with the power source. That's something, just like anything else, I would imagine. But right now, it does have to be hardwired to power source, and that kind of limits put it. Lincoln seems like the most logical option because of the obvious cut through to avoid 31 and 72. That seems like the best combination of the cut through, the traffic volume, the potential for power source, changing locations or adding additional
Right,
give it a shot and see
Right.
how we like it.
right.
And just to clarify, currently, based on state statutes, only the city of Chicago is permitted to issue speeding tickets within the state of Illinois via electronics. So I think Red Speed is kind of looking at this as a pilot program from their business standpoint, in the hopes that maybe this does get opened up on a larger statewide basis. I know the municipalities would be interested in this as an effective law enforcement tool if possible. And so, based on the resident concerns that have been expressed over the years, we felt this was a good opportunity to try and find a pilot program, validate some of the concerns of the residents by tangible numbers in terms of issuance of warning tickets, and gives us a good database to work off of moving forward from a police enforcement standpoint.
But they aren't tickets, right?
Or warning ticket
Warning tickets.
on X
A
number of
warning
days,
notice.
on X
Warning-
date.
It's a warning notice.
letters.
Warning notice.
Letters, yeah, there's no.
Right.
We've done that manually, on a couple occasions now where the speed trailer data, and combining it with some complaints that we've gotten. And it's been effective. You know, that West Dundee Police Department letterhead that basically, know what you did and we're watching you now, kind of thing. So far, it's been really effective. And the one time where it wasn't effective, one of our officers, based on that process, was able to see a car that was a repeat offender. And the officer asked him, "Did you get the warning letter?" And the gentleman said, "Yeah, I got the warning letter." And he sped anyway, and he got a ticket that one time. So the automation portion of it.
And just to clarify your question, it's, I assume this is not any type of enforcement on your driving record. This is a written warning on West Dundee letterhead. Your vehicle was observed doing 12 miles over the posted speed limit with a camera visual verification, your plate at X number of date and time.
I understand, but
Okay.
there's no consequence for it.
No, but
So I don't see how this is really gonna deter anyone. If they, if you get a ticket, you have to take time off work to go to court, you have to pay the ticket, you have to hire a
We
lawyer
agree.
maybe.
But we,
So there's
Yet there's still
consequences.
yeah,
to it.
but we can't by law issue a ticket based
Right.
on this, but what it does allow.
An officer can issue tickets.
But it allows for us to sit on that route if it's clear that it's, driver X is racing down the street at between 4 and 5 each day. This allows us to direct resources there to eventually ticket that person.
But the residents have told us many times where the problems are. You can hear them going by every day.
Well, and this isn't in lieu of that. We do, we report the numbers every month, and part of the budget presentation, our traffic enforcement is absolutely through the roof, compared to what it has been. So it certainly wouldn't be meant to, the idea is to enhance it, to have more intelligence-based, that this car, like I said, that example, I don't remember the car was avoiding a light, is basically. We were able to find information on the car based on speed trailer data, the red speed camera at the intersection, and the ALPR data. We combined all that, and were able to direct the officers, hey, keep an eye out for this black Acura or whatever it happened to be, license plate ABC. Sure enough, within that week and a half, we will speed. And we sent him the warning letter too, and he still didn't heed the warning, but we were able to direct our resources very specifically based on that. That's the idea here. But then other issues where we have sent the warning letters, I think there were two, maybe three other times. The warning letters, we didn't have a copy. Nothing on speed or nothing on, what seemed as though either those were one-off events or people got a message and just stopped doing it.
I get, okay, so in my business world, we call what's called POC, which is proof of concept. And this is an example of a proof of concept. And I love the fact that it's a proof of concept, but I do have a couple questions in regards to, can we do it on, I've heard more complaints about Main Street than Lincoln. Is that a possibility to switch it to Main Street?
There are some limitations with this. One is the multiple lanes. So,
Well, the multiple lanes and IDOT jurisdiction.
IDOT jurisdiction.
Yeah, that's what I was asking, whether it's IDOT.
That's another part of it, and it's kind of the bang for your buck kind of a thing. Even if IDOT said, sure, go ahead, the multiple lanes thing, it's not like an officer holding a LiDAR, pointing it directly at somebody's bumper. It will always pick up on the largest and or closest vehicle, kind of like the speed signs. And it would be a little shaky as far as accuracy goes.
Okay. So if we're gonna run a test, it's cleaner to run the test where there's only one lane of traffic. But you could revisit to do Main Street at a later time if this thing is effective, right?
I think we could, if we were willing to accept the potential failure rates and because of like they have to jump through with IDOT. As far as I know, IDOT wouldn't even put light camera at this point. Worried about, but it would certainly be worth an effort if this were successful. Probably would be the best pilot location.
Right, just recognize that you would be writing, under the pilot program, $7 for every ticket, or
Yeah, I
every
understand.
warning for 10 miles over, and so, and as trustee Anderly pointed out, I mean, what are the repercussions, and so, yeah, I mean.
People are gonna wad it up and they're gonna throw it in the circular.
But wait, but
mileage cap.
with a proof of concept, what you can do is you can measure what happened before and then measure what's happening now. And the hypothesis that I think you're going in with is before I have this many people running over 10 miles over, and then you measure it at a time later, call it month 5 or 6, and then you should be able to test those results based on a similar volume and determine whether you've reduced the speed. So technically it's a test to see if this is effective. If after the 6-month period of time this thing doesn't work and you're still getting as many speeders and people are just throwing the thing away, then what the hypothesis is what you've proven is these things aren't effective, and it's not warranted our time or money to invest in it. But you will get learnings if you do something like this, where at least you can at least take and understand patterns, and you can understand which cars are doing it, right? And you can, depending upon how the test is run, right? At least that's the way I read it.
You're gonna create a database.
Yes.
You're gonna create a database of 10 miles over that gives us the police department enforcement capabilities. And to be very candid, this is a visual deterrent and an effort to address the neighborhood concerns regarding this speeding on this particular roadway. So this is trying to be proactive in addressing the consistent level of concerns that have been expressed regarding residential speeding.
Okay, but one question. So I come down Lincoln when I come home every day from work. I don't speed, but let's say I go 35, 45 down Lincoln, and I get a letter, and I go, oh no, now what? Nothing. And I decide, well, I'll come down Main Street instead because I have another route to take. And now I can go as fast as I want because people do. So how is that helping?
I guess my argument on that would be at least
You got me to go faster on Main Street?
Pedestrian safety, we got you to a main road, not a
Okay.
residential road. It's good.
And you're also gathering data on on consistent or people who are continued offenders, per se, at X time, and your intention is to have a real vehicle at that location during that time frame so that you can actually issue an actual ticket.
Yeah, there'll
Right.
be active
Right.
enforcement
Yes.
complementary to this on Lincoln, just like we are throughout the neighborhoods. But we can't be everywhere, and I think this is one of those proactive type of approach in trying to address the concerns and be responsive. And we'll, obviously, it's a $10,000 effort to do so, and we'll see how far that money goes. That's one of the conversations we had. We don't know if we're issuing 5 tickets a day or 5 tickets a month.
And we'll reassess after 90 days, and it'll be for us to vote to continue for an additional 6 months or not, correct?
That's the question. So, that was my other question here, because the time frame, the way the contract is written, is 3 months, and then the price goes up, right? But also in that contract language, it says 3 months, and then you gotta up to six additional months. So that becomes a 9-month commitment. And as I read it, I said, maybe we commit to 6 total months, right, with a read and as opposed to having to do 9 months, right? So the way it's written right now is 3 months, and then we have the opportunity to renew, and then it's another 6 months on top of that, right?
I think that's a good way to do it, because let's see what 3 months brings us, how much it costs financially. Is it effective? Did we get good data from it? Can we use that data in our community? And then we can make an educated decision as to renew or not. I think
That-
if you do a 6 months right off the bat or too long, then we're tied to it. And if we want to shift gears, no pun intended, we can.
So that in and of it, the question is, can you get a read on this thing in 3 months? And if the answer is you can't, it takes us, how long will it take you to get a read? Is 90 days enough? Because
There's no way to know.
I think it would be to at least get to that next step, especially with the clause, the termination clause. I haven't seen anything really like this, that with or without cause upon 30 days written notice, either party can cancel.
Yeah.
So even if we said, yes, it's extended for another 6 months, I read that to mean we can make.
The thought we had was we were gonna commit $10,000 to this effort, and once we hit that $10,000, we were going to basically have to come back to the board and say, these are the results.
Yeah, you're not, unless this thing is a drag racing strip, you're never gonna hit that 10,000, because they're not at $6.99 a pound.
Yeah, once again, we've got the previous data on Lincoln Avenue. We know that the speeding is not as prevalent as has been expressed by the neighborhood, but this is gonna be a good opportunity to actually have some data-driven analysis. How many tickets do we issue within 3 months? Bill Brandt, you have the floor.
Make a motion to approve the attached contract with Red Speed LLC with contractual services not to exceed $10,000 annually to implement an automated speed monitoring system.
Motion.
Second.
Second by trustee Alapajanis. Any additional discussion or comment? Hearing none, Madam Clerk.
Trustee Wilbrandt.
Aye.
Trustee Eska.
Aye.
Trustee Johnson.
Aye.
Trustee Lapajanis.
Aye.
Trustee Anderle.
No.
Okay. So we have 4 ayes, 1 nay. Motion carries. Thank you, Chief. Anything else for the good of the order?
That's how you read the data.
I'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Motion.
Second.
Second by trustee Alapajanis. Any additional discussion or comment? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. We are adjourned.